certainly show that here tonight as well. Better crowd at home as they are undefeated this year. Just the one game at home back in week number 3, a victory in overtime over the Montreal Alouettes as it is on the tee. Edmonton won the toss, decided they want the football immediately, and they'll get their request as it's caught back at the 10-yard line on a perfect night for football. And to kick things off in week number 6, it's out to the 40-yard line. A solid return to get things going as Carter Kettle, the young product, gets the football for Cody Fajardo.
Cody Fajardo, the veteran quarterback, leading this Edmonton offense. 3 interceptions thrown by Fajardo last week. You heard the panel talk a little bit about that. Out of character for a guy for whom high percentage completions, good decision making is a big part of his identity, key to his success.
They'll begin looking through the air, and they get it out off script. Immediately, it is complete to Skylar Griffith, who is an underutilized part maybe of this Edmonton offense.
Yeah, and looking at the group, we'll keep an eye on Jordan Murray at the right tackle spot. Big free agent signing for the Elks this offseason coming over from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The receiving core, I mentioned Justin Rankin over 100 yards last week. He was not the only Elk to do that in the receiving department, as Austin Mack had his first big game with Cody Fajardo as Elks teammates. Obviously, these two guys have some history going back to 2023 in particular with the Montreal Alouettes.
Short yardage package is in. Cole Snyder, the third-string quarterback on the depth chart out of Lakewood, New York, goes to the right-hand side and gets stuffed by Niles Morgan. Not surprising, 31 tackles, leads the Canadian Football League by 4 over second place at this point, but looks like it will be enough, and indeed it is a first down, so out comes Cody Fajardo. 10 straight wins since 2019 against the Ottawa REDBLACKS for Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, Cody has feasted a little bit against Ottawa. Obviously, big rivalry with Montreal during Cody's time as an Alouette.
Certainly made the most of it, looking to do the same tonight with Justin Rankin alongside him, and they fake it inside to Rankin, flips it the outside. TJ Luther off and running for a gain of 12 on first down as we see Cody Fajardo against the REDBLACKS. And you joke pregame Dwayne about, hey, he's just padding his stats, but he's playing at a high level against a bunch of different teams, but he likes seeing these colors on the other side, doesn't he?
Yeah, and obviously off to a fast start here today, in keeping with what the numbers suggest, given what he has done over the last few years against this REDBLACKS squad.
Fajardo 2-0 in fourth quarter comeback opportunities this season as well. Part of the story for the Elks. High quarterback play, elite. This guy certainly has been special as well. Justin Rankin gets his first touchdown hill immediately for a gain of 9 as we see the Ottawa defense.
And they're going to lean on some veterans in this Ottawa defense. Mike Wakefield, a key guy on that defensive line. We'll see him lining up at end a little bit tonight. Of course, the former Elk Niles Morgan is at middle linebacker, leading tackler for this Ottawa squad. We saw Alonzo Adai at free safety. Good to have him back after missing much of the 2025 season due to injury. Great communicator and veteran presence in the secondary.
William Fields, the defensive coordinator for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, talked to us this week, says they took a step forward last week, but they got to continue to build. It is week over week and plenty of new faces, but he says the talent is there, the communication is there. Now we just need the results. We'll see if they get it tonight, but Edmonton already in the REDBLACKS part of the field as Rankin gets a toss this time and bounces off 2 tacklers, plunges his way forward, and that's close to another first down, and looks like they'll give it to him. Justin Rankin immediately already up to maybe more than he had in all of last week's game against the BC Lions on the ground, at the very least.
Quiet one, and you know, we know Justin Rankin contributed lots of yards in the passing game, but I do believe that him and obviously that offensive line establishing the ground game. See a little bit of a double team there with the tackle and the fullback working to middle linebacker Niles Morgan, trying to eliminate him from that matchup against Rankin.
Fake inside, and Fajardo will flip it out. Keon Julian Grant, the Canadian, makes the grab and gets inside the 20-yard line. Now, you think they might have circled Niles Morgan on the pregame stat sheet?
Yeah, they're familiar with his work here in Edmonton, needless to say. Again, much talk about him in the pregame, his familiarity with this Edmonton organization and this building.
Second and median here, 2nd and 4 to be exact. Brennan O'Leary orange Joshua Cephas out of the ballgame. Mark Cordy, now the veteran Elks offensive lineman, in alongside Skylar Griffiths. So a little bit of extra meat up front. They show run, they give run. And inside, it's Justin Rankin bouncing off the initial contact and about to walk it in for the opening drive score.
We see a lot of Justin Rankin in the highlights every week. I don't know if there's been one this season that has, to me, captured the essence of Justin Rankin more than this. Looking to run the ball between the tackles, things are stacked up, guys get hands on him, doesn't go down, just bounces out of contact and shows off that speed to the outside, goes in with no one near him.
5th rushing touchdown of the year. Did he surpass his rushing total from all of week 5? He doubled it.
There you go. There you go.
So if you thought something was wrong with Justin Rankin last week, we're back on track, in case anybody was wondering, as the Ottawa REDBLACKS get their first offensive possession of the ball game after the 8-play, 70-yard touchdown drive. Jake Mayer and the REDBLACKS look to answer.
Jake Mayer, of course, moving from Saskatchewan to Ottawa in free agency this year, wins the starting job under head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Still really looking for that big game, taking some steps, and you can see it week by week. They're looking for that kind of big breakout for Jake Mayer and that Ottawa offense.
Yeah, solid second half performance against the Montreal Alouettes on the road in week 4, but couldn't get the job done. As Justin Hardy, he consistently gets it done. That time goes for 9 yards as part of this REDBLACKS offense.
Yeah, and offensive line starting 4 Canadians, including an under-the-radar free agent signing in veteran Sean McEwen, injured throughout last season in Saskatchewan. And of course, making his return to Edmonton, receiver Gino Lewis had some big years here with the Elks after starting his career in Montreal.
Gino sitting at 47 career touchdown catches, 3 back of 50 and 100 back of Milt Stiegel back in the studio. As we look at the Edmonton Elks starting defense with all of a sudden a lot of youth right down the middle.
Yeah, and looking at this D-line, the lean on this group with some experience up front. Robbie Smith at the defensive end spot. Joel DeBlanco, Edmonton's nominee as most outstanding Canadian a year ago, former #1 overall pick. And keep an eye on Kobe Williams at the field halfback spot. 3 knockdowns for him thus far in 2026.
You think Gino catches Milt tonight, or?
With a big game.
Inside handoff. They try to get Greg Bell going, but DeBlanco right there in the middle of the fray, growing into that first overall pick moniker quickly in his second year.
Yeah, Joel DeBlanco to the University of Cincinnati. You know, primarily playing special teams his first year in 2024. Some injuries in that linebacking core last season kind of opened the door. And him taking a step forward is basically what put the Elks in a position to be able to trade Niles Morgan this offseason.
Certainly shook up the look of this game tonight, the way DeBlanco has stepped into that role as he's gotten more reps. This time underneath, Aiden Eberhardt, and they try to go to the screen game on 2nd and long. They'll come up shy by a few yards, and an early decision. It looks like the punting unit, Noah Getman coming off the sideline. The much discussed REDBLACKS punting unit after last week giving up a return touchdown.
And things obviously get no easier with former CFL most outstanding special teams player Javon Leake awaiting reception of this Getman punt.
Getman averaging 50.8 per boot. He steps into this one as well as it sails inside the 5-yard line and kicks backwards. And a wonderful
defense, but this is their most lethal weapon.
And he'll get a touch immediately. Why not go back to the well quickly for the Edmonton offense? Nice play in the middle that time by Jelani Stafford, stepping in out of UConn in his first year at defensive tackle.
Stafford comes in at tackle. That allows the bump of Mike Wakefield out to end. Looks like we're going to get a three-man front here on 2nd and long.
Baldonado digs in alongside A.J. Allen, both former Saskatchewan Roughriders, champions in the Grey Cup just last year. Now Fajardo from his own end zone underneath the uprights. Waits, finally gets rid of it. Hangs it high and incomplete. As the closest receiver to it was Keon Julian Grant, but coverage well supplied that time by Demario Houston.
Yeah, and essentially a throwaway for Cody Fajardo in that situation. As you can see, he started to get a little impatient with the inability to find someone open downfield as he was in his own end zone, not wanting to risk giving up a safety. Get rid of the ball and live to have Julian punt them out of danger.
Well, Jake Julian almost hit the speaker here at Commonwealth Stadium a couple of different times in warm-up. This one is a low roller to Khalil Pimpleton, averaging about 12.5 yards per punt return in this young season, but already in plus territory.
I think a coaching change probably contributed a little bit to being open to change at that position and an opportunity for Jake Mayer.
As Mayer hit as he throws this time and gets it out complete. Daniel Adebaboye makes the grab and looks like he's tackled for a loss of 2 yards on the play, so 2nd and 12.
Adebaboye sharing that backfield with Greg Bell as we talk about this Ottawa quarterback situation. Of course, the veteran, the bearded McLeod Bethel Thompson.
I gotta say, until you actually see him on the field taking a snap, I know he's been at practice, but on the field in the game, it looks photoshopped even in person to see him in an Ottawa uniform and helmet, but not real until it happens, and it hasn't yet as Mayer with pressure on gets blasted and throws this one fading away. The Elks and J.C. Sherritt came after Mayer and got a big wallop on the starting quarterback for now. Incomplete, intended for Justin Hardy.
Yeah, the recognition is there. The decision making is there. You see that blitz come right through the A gap. Shot on the quarterback. Mayer recognizes that there's going to be a free man. He's got to get rid of it in a hurry. Knows where he's going with it, but just doesn't have time to make a good throw as he's backing up.
43-yard punt picked up by Javon Leake, who looks like he is lively tonight. A couple of jump cuts.
Give them an excuse or anything. And guys, I checked. No, Cody Fajardo cannot call out to his wife during the game, a la Joe Montana.
Love it, Tom. Thank you so much. As Justin Rankin carries it inside. Shout out to Mr. Mix.
Yes.
Yeah, the vintage phone. Doesn't that phone just make you want to twirl the wire on your finger while you're standing in the kitchen?
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you young guys, you say you might have seen this in your parents' home or your grandparents' home. Like that's what phones look like to me. That's just a phone to me.
There weren't these tiny things that fall into your pocket. You go, hey, where did that? Where is it? I don't know. But yeah, Cody's on it all the time, and he loves the reliability of it. I genuinely think Tom's point about it not being on the sidelines, that mattered last week. You could tell that Jordan McSimic was not a fan of not having that consistent communication. As down goes Cody in the backfield, and Baldonado is able to rip down the starting quarterback for the Elks. Just 4 sacks made coming into tonight, tied lowest in the CFL with the BC Lions, but Baldonado making the play here.
Yeah, Baldonado, global player raised in Italy. One of the big free agent signings for this Ottawa team in the offseason, looking to provide a little bit of a boost to their pass rush.
And it is the second straight 2-and-out for Edmonton up against Ottawa, who has the most of those in the CFL. A 40% 2-and-out rate for the Red Blacks, but it's Edmonton struggling after their opening drive touchdown rush by Justin Rankin. Punt of 60 that time by Noah Getman, and a flag flies on the return.
During the return, illegal block, Ottawa number 22. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's interesting to see the size of the swing in terms of field position here. after that great Getman punt a few minutes ago. But here you see Jake Mayer's career numbers accrued against the Edmonton Elks. Obviously, big part of the Calgary-Edmonton rivalry early in his career.
As Edmonton began on their own 6 on the previous possession. They go 2 and out, but then 2 possessions ago, and an 84-yard swing as Mayer throws into traffic, and incomplete as the flag flies once again. It's Justin Hardy, often targeted by Jake Mayer, really any Red Blacks quarterback over the last couple of years.
I suspect we may have illegal contact on the backside of this pattern as Aiden Eberhardt tried to get his release down the seam.
Illegal contact. Edmonton number 0. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
I already said that, Tom. And here you'll see it as Eberhardt tries to take an inside release. Kobe Williams, little strong on the jam.
Cordell Jackson closest in the coverage on Justin Hardy on that last play as well. As the ever more experienced back end of the Edmonton Elks defense doing everything they can to support up front. And Will DeBlanco that you see there after a gain of 1 here inside said that because they've got so many guys that have been around and had some reps together, Dwayne, they're starting to build that communication rep over rep over rep.
Yeah, continuity really a key for Edmonton's success in the early going here in 2026. Is it's something they hadn't had prior to Mark Killam taking over as head coach.
Blanco said sometimes we almost feel like we're over-communicating into the boundary with Cordell Jackson and J.J. Ross. Better than the alternative, that's for sure. Mayer throws into a tight window, up for grabs. It wasn't intercepted. It looks like it hit the ground first. Nearly intercepted. Kenneth Logan Jr. has the football in his hands, but it looks like it hit the Commonwealth turf.
And you see as Edmonton just swarming to the football. Jackson gets hands on it first. There you'll see the bounce.
5-second rule? Not how that one works. Noah Getman ready to kick again, almost blocked by Silas Hubert. And a huge booming boot once again from Getman. 62 yards to add to his 50-yard average. And now Javon Leake refusing to go down, and then backwards he goes. So a great special teams rep for the Ottawa REDBLACKS as Getman is booming this thing all over the field early on. A bit of a punting battle after the opening touchdown drive. 7-0 the Elks lead as we near the end of the first quarter.
Getman, not just the depth of that kick that stands out, but I mean, towering height, but great placement on his kicks thus far as well. Getting it between the numbers and the sidelines, putting your punt cover team in the best possible position to contain the returner.
Fajardo to the outside and scheme something up and get Javon Leake a little bit of love. And a first down for the Elks. Niles Morgan all the way out on the far sideline to help finish off the play.
And this has been a big part of the game plan in terms of the Edmonton offense so far, as you're going to get a look at the sideline to sideline pursuit of REDBLACKS middle linebacker Niles Morgan. Gain of about 13, though, for Javon Leake. A lot of quick passes to the perimeter for Cody Fajardo in the early going here.
Inside run, Niles Morgan right there. Whether you want it on the sideline or right up in the middle of the defense. Simic said that to us this week. The Elks offensive coordinator said the first quarter's feeling out. Second and third are adjustments. In the fourth quarter, it just takes on a life of its own in the Canadian Football League. As Fajardo right out of the hopper pitches that one smooth as ever to Austin Mack. As their connection continues, and the Elks leading receiver with 5 contested catches adds another one.
And a little bit of teaching tape here from receiver Austin Mack as you see him working back to the football, getting the arms outstretched, going to reach that ball at the highest point, catching it in his hands, protecting it from contact.
As down the seam, it's knocked away. Nice play coming down. It was Alonzo Adai as he was able to separate ball from receiver Brendan O'Leary-Orange.
Alonzo Adai patrolling the middle of that field. Just throwing his body around a little bit to shake up the big target in Brendan O'Leary Orange.
Edmonton 4 for 6 on second down, converting at a high rate. A little bit of pressure coming this time as Fajardo fades away from it, throws in behind Keon Julian Grant, but the big body receiver fights back at the 55-yard line and hangs on for an Edmonton first down.
A nice execution here from the Edmonton Elks offense. And Julian Grant bodying out C.J. Rivas a little bit as he looks that ball in.
Doing it on C.J. Rivas, as you say, bringing a new look to the Red Blacks defense after filling the stat sheet in 2025. Fourth on Saskatchewan with 74 defensive plays, 61 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 5 knockdowns, which we still got to come up with a name for the bingo card defensively.
Yeah,
when you
like
get one of everything.
You know, the full house.
Yeah. Because Joel DeBlanco is just a tackle for loss off from already filling the bingo card.
All right.
He's got a special teams tackle, 19 on defense, a sack, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 3 knockdowns, an interception. He's doing it all. He just got to get a tackle for loss. Then we can give him the early season bingo card. He watches on with the Elks offense going to work after the KJG catch right here. Inside handoff, Justin Rankin. Look at the patience, just sifting his way through the blockers. Minimal gain on first down. I'll say it goes for around 2.
Yeah, they can't all be home runs, even though it seemed that way in the early part of this 2026 season for Justin Rankin. But you mentioned the patience that he demonstrates, and he talked to us a little bit about that earlier this season, a couple weeks ago when Edmonton was playing in Winnipeg. He talked about learning some of that from watching clips of Brady Oliveira.
I wonder sometimes when he's running like that, whether he's just going to burst out of the pile like he did for the touchdown, as Fajardo gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Was that Mike Wakefield? It was. Big 96. Not sure it's a sack, but certainly an influential play. And the pocket collapsing quickly for Fajardo, who's been protected wonderfully coming into week 6 here so far.
Yeah, and you're just going to see this Edmonton defense, or Ottawa defense rather, just kind of collapsing things down the middle.
Bryce Carter was on the spot. Elks struggling in pass protection last year, allowed 52 sacks, 8th in the CFL. Only Toronto was worse last season, but able to mend the fences. Football. Aiden Eberhardt waggles his way down, and Jake Mayer delivers to the wide side of the field. And Greg Bell getting out of the backfield just like his running mate on the other side, Justin Rankin, is a gain of 6 that time for Bell, is again didn't get a chance to see Edmonton in the rain back in week 1.
Yeah, kind of looking for ways to get Greg Bell involved in the early going, trying to light the spark. Again, one of their big free agent acquisitions, took over as a starting running back in Hamilton a couple seasons ago. Big year in 2025 for Bell.
Their deep drop this time. Pressure coming, trying to fight through it, and he can't get rid of the football. Robbie Smith, the Brampton native, all over it.
Robbie Smith from his defensive end position. See the quick get off there. Good rip to get underneath the punch of offensive tackle Zach Pelios, ripping through with that inside arm, dipping the inside shoulder.
3, they're like, it'll be nice outside, right? Week 3, Montreal, and another rainstorm. This is their first opportunity to play against the East and at home in what looks like favorable conditions. We'll see whether or not it means the offenses can start throwing it up and down the field as Fajardo fakes inside and completes out near the 30-yard line. DJ Luther for a gain of 9.
Yet another quick hitter from Cody Fajardo in the Elks offense. Luther, newcomer.
staying in for short yardage as well. Always an interesting question for offensive coordinators. Jordan McSimic handling it here tonight. Do you wait and sub, or do you just decide to go quickly as Justin Rankin watches on from the sidelines? And McSimic certainly has a plan, but likes to alter the tempo a little bit from drive to drive, snap to snap. Cody hands it off inside, pile through the middle. Mark Cordy in a battle there with Mufta Achili. And Javon Leak getting a bit of a run as a running back here. And I know some people have been clamoring for Javon Leak to get more action in this offense, but it's hard to take any touches away from Justin Rankin the way he started this campaign.
Yeah, I think you also look at the flip side of that is a fresh Justin Rankin, right? If you're able to spell him a little bit with Javon Leak for a series here and there. Make sure, especially given the load that Rankin is expected to carry as both receiver and ball carrier in this Edmonton offense.
High snap here. Fajardo gets it down, but pressure on from behind, and lucky that it didn't get knocked out of his hand as it was dangling out behind his right hip. Aiden John right there to make the play in the backfield. In his third year at a St. Mary's University.
Yes, sir, the pride of Halifax, Nova Scotia, Aiden John gets around the corner as the timing of that play looked a little bit off from the start with after the high snap.
Field's defensive coordinator loves it as Vincent Blanchard lines this one up. 36-yard attempt is a low snap, but well held by Jake Julian, the punter, and it's good. This a matchup of the
week of the summit, and they know it's going to be a process here in Ottawa, but they know that 1% every day is the motto, and they're going to have to turn it around together with the Red Blacks.
Absolutely. J.J. Ross knocks that one away, looking down the field for Gino Lewis, trying to get the big man involved. But I think the frustration in Ottawa right now is this feels way too familiar, considering that they've changed things behind the scenes and personnel and a quarterback and all the rest. Everybody in Ottawa kind of feels like they're leaning on what's happened in the past, right? When the reality is this is a different group. You just got to give them some time to figure it out.
Yeah, it is. They kind of started fresh, I would say, under Ryan Dinwiddie. But yeah, I know it's been a tough go for fans in the nation's capital, that it can be a little bit hard to separate the seasons from one another.
This one high and off the target as Mayer misses on 2nd and 10. And the third, 2 and out for the Red Blacks offense. And Mayer makes the longer than usual feeling march back to the sideline.
Yeah, just struggling to find any kind of traction here offensively. And, you know, we go back to the fact that we saw Greg Bell off the top of this game. And Bell was a guy that they went out and got in free agency.
As Noah Getman gets it away, but a flag flies. Another huge kick, but the long-legged punter walked himself right into some contact as Josh Connors down the field as well. Special teamer drafted in the 8th round from Wilfrid Laurier. And Tom Valesi, our referee, talks over the flag from the backfield after a 56-yard punt.
Major foul, roughing the kicker. Edmonton number 46. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And here you get a look. Just as Getman releases that ball before he gets that foot back on the ground. You see Jacob Plamondon. And I think he was trying to contend that he got blocked in. But regardless of how it happens, his momentum takes him into the kicker and extends his drive.
I'm not sure how Josh Connors got from being involved in that to making the special teams tackle. He was the furthest away from the possible return, but got there. Heck of a play by him. Is now an inside running play. Goes for a gain of 4. Handed off. Greg Bell trying to get the wheels churning in week 6.
Yeah, I started to say, you know, Bell's a guy they went out and got in free agency and looking to sort of strengthen, bolster that running back position. And I think they've got to make a commitment in terms of getting him the football.
Ottawa's first 5 possessions have all been punts. This drive extended thanks to the flag as pressure on and underneath, up for grabs and tipped away. Somehow on the tip drill, Justin Hardy held on. Flags fly as well at the 45-yard line. But the man that we learned they called the doctor for his route running ability, that time putting a clinic on with his hands.
Interference, Edmonton number 13. That penalty would decline. The result of the play is first down.
And this is one of those plays where you're watching it, and anytime you see a deflected ball, you're thinking from an offensive point of view, something bad is going to happen. But somehow Justin Hardy comes up with this one and picks up another first down.
Goes for 11 yards now over the top of the defense, and that could not have been thrown any better. Justin Hardy in between coverage, but Jake Mayer for 20 yards. You miss an inch low or an inch high, that ain't a catch.
Yeah, this one was thrown with surgical precision by Jake Mayer. Just clearing the first defender in front of the second. Tom Gazzola was nearly killed on the play.
Happy to say Tom is still with us. Score zone opportunity for the Red Blacks. Underneath crossing route, Aiden Eberhard, and downhill with some momentum they go. DeBlanco won't let go of Eberhard.
Tom's escapability, unmatched amongst TSN sideline
Tom,
reporters.
you walked yourself into the play.
My dad just stared me down and said, watch out. He's on the sidelines from like a couple rows up. He's like, watch out. Like I'm a 5-year-old kid. Cat-like reflexes, you guys. I'm okay.
8th play of the drive here for the Red Blacks. Fresh set of downs. Mayer looks left, rips it complete. Cade McDonald trying to dance inside the 5, spins away from the first tackler, and the second brings him down as a flag flies as well. And will this be a horse collar? Did they catch him up on the back of the nameplate?
Oh, McDonald, who picked up a touchdown in his Canadian Football League debut.
Major foul, horse collar, Edmonton number 30. Ball placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
You just see at the tail end as McDonald tries to spin off. You saw that hand come up. Grab the back of the collar.
Flag against Tyrell Ford, 7 plus the penalty yardage means that from the 1-yard line, Ottawa into the end zone, touchdown. And for a team that's last in touchdown drive percentage at just 14% in the young season, the first third of the regular season campaign, every bit counts.
And you'll see the rookie quarterback, Bryson Barnes, on in short yardage here. With the plunge, I think you're going to see an Edmonton penalty potentially for roughing at the end of this play that will be tacked onto the kickoff.
9 plays, 70 yards, 357 again, aided by that penalty.
15-yard misconduct on Edmonton will be applied on the kickoff.
Said that. I already said that.
Alessi's got your notes today. And you see on the sidelines there, is that Jordan Williams that's out of his pads, walking through the bench, so maybe a little bit short on the interior of that Edmonton defensive line as well. We'll see how they shuffle the deck there, but good to see Ottawa finding a way.
Yeah, and a couple of really good throws from Jake Mayer on that series as we kind of continue to monitor him settling in as you keep an eye here at Sheelan Garnes. The big shove on Aiden Eberhard, detected by the officials. That's the flag that is going to move this kickoff up.
It's felt like a case of mistaken intention that time as Eberhard just trying to untangle himself, but happens to be turned around into Garn's face when he spun around. So misinterpreted, and obviously not the reaction you're looking for if you're Mark Killam or Des Cotillier, who's handling the special teams responsibilities for the Double E this year. And Ryan Dinwiddie sees his team tighten this ball game down before the half, 10-7 is your score right now. Thought it was interesting that Jordan McSimic as well, just talking about J.C. Sherritt, we mentioned earlier, as a special teams coordinator, Mark Killam. He's like, when I started, I was a ball boy in Calgary, 19 years old. Like, Killam was on the staff in Calgary. Sherritt was a player. Ed Hervey was just a guy who was a scout. Now I got offices next to all of them. This group, small league, they know each other well. As another good job by Javon Leake, and Josh Connors once again making the special teams tackle for the Red Blacks as we look at how the Red Blacks got onto the scoreboard here in Edmonton.
Yeah. Penalty-aided momentum. Roughing the kicker call, extends the drive. Justin Hardy off the bobbled ball and makes the great catch. A terrific throw by Jake Mayer. Penalty on the horse collar. Touchdown, penalty on the touchdown. So, yeah, Edmonton Elks kind of need to take a deep breath and reset here.
Yeah, why not go to Justin Rankin when you need a reset, as Niles Morgan continues to do what he does best. Flag comes out at the end of this play as well.
I'll let Tom call this one. Looks like this one is going against the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Maybe a late piling on at the end of the Rankin run. Morgan already had the job done. Went for 6 yards.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Ottawa number 96. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So a 21-yard swing after the penalty yardage is added.
So both teams getting a little bit of a boost in terms of opponents' penalties here, as this one will put the Elks immediately near midfield.
Fajardo looks to throw, screen low and away, but somehow held on to by Justin Rankin. Defense all over it. Just trying to do his job. Fajardo, pressure on, and misses high and away. And wondering whether or not Rankin was looking for him. As an Edmonton offensive lineman taking a moment in the backfield. Was that Carter O'Donnell that was down? Yeah, it looks like he might have got rolled up on, but walking off the field under his own power, a little worse for wear.
Yeah, and originally watching the play live, it looked almost as if O'Donnell was trying to help out his tackle on the block in pass pro there, but it was that he had actually lost his own footing and fell into the defender's legs.
Messy backfield for Fajardo to try and work from as Jake Julian gets this one away before the pressure of Aiden John gets there. Nicely placed, a 56-yard punt inside the 10-yard line. Khalil Pimpleton makes the first man miss, trying to get around the corner, and he does turn at the 20 before he's run out of bounds as Tyrell Ford right there is Justin Hardy. 3 straight 1,000.
Climbing route along the sideline where Tommy got chided by his father.
One of my favorite conversations with Hardy a couple of years ago. He said, practice is done, I just go home, rest, get ready for the next one. Got one focus, making catches like that. Smooth as ever.
And I described Justin Hardy as being Austin Mack before there was Austin Mack, as a guy who came to a team that needed some depth in its receiving core, needed a little bit of help, and even though he was new to the Canadian Football League, really brought a veteran presence and professionalism to the group. Austin Mack, of course, eventually did that in Montreal, but that's what Justin Hardy has been in Ottawa from the time he arrived.
Red Blacks offense as Mayer gets popped and looking once again the direction of Hardy, incomplete. The Red Blacks offense is 8th in CFL scoring at 25.5 points per game. And you wonder, in those 3 seasons, if they had not had Justin Hardy, where would this group have been as the big hit here on Mayer?
And you're going to see Kenneth Logan, free man off the edge, sticking his shoulder into the quarterback's ribs.
Leaves second down and 10. Mayer looks right, comes back left. Aiden Eberhardt makes the grab, stays on his feet and gets the first down. Makes 3, then 4, then miss, and is all the way down to the 44-yard line of the Edmonton Elks. Just 2:19 remaining in the first half, but banked that one away in case they score another touchdown on this drive.
Yeah, Aiden Eberhardt has established himself over the last couple of seasons as a big play guy. There you see him bouncing the route back to the outside, but it's making something out of nothing. He's hit immediately, but still fights to pick up the first down and then some.
Mayer looked to the in-breaking routes, thought about going over the top that time. And
of seasons. Bringing in Geno Lewis last year. Aiden Eberhardt makes the move east this year.
Pressure look once again from the Elks. Mayer gets pounded again. He knew it was coming and floats it up for an interception. Tyrell Ford got it.
Yeah, it's as if Tyrell Ford knew what was coming. Again, you're going to see Logan this time coming off the left side, brings the pressure. With a man in his face, Jake Mayer can't step into the throw. What's the result? The throw ends up short. And Tyrell Ford, the tight coverage on Eberhardt. You know, I mean, that play, if he can lead the receiver, goes either incomplete or caught by the receiver, but coming up short, it's an INT.
How aggressive does Edmonton want to be here? Well, that won't help as Niles Morgan finishes it off.
I would like to apologize for the first 2 drops of the season. That's on me. I'll be better.
Apology accepted, Tyrell.
I got a feeling that one in Ottawa in week 1 might have lingered with him for a while. Sure, it was late in the game and it was raining and but he holds himself to a certain standard. Elks on 2nd and 10 after the drop. Have Fajardo finding a wide open Brendan O'Leary-Orange on a check down and out of the backfield from nothing to something and maybe everything. Brendan O'Leary-Orange down the sideline and brought down inside the 10. A busted coverage from the Ottawa REDBLACKS leads to an explosive play from perhaps the least likely member of the Elks receiving corps as he gets 91 yards for Orange.
Well, what I love about this, Brendan O'Leary-Orange, yeah, you mentioned it, starts off as part of the protection scheme, little check release, becomes an outlet guy, and he gives you his best Justin Rankin impression. Down to the sidelines, off to the races. Massive gain for the Edmonton Elks. Terrific play by Brendan O'Leary-Orange, turning on the Jets.
That was on 2nd and 10, backed up in your own end. Evans was ready to just punt and play defense and end the half, but now looking to score. Full house backfield. They'll hand it off. Oh, bit of a slow mesh that time between Fajardo and Justin Rankin. So they'll have 2nd and goal.
We'll take a look here at the quarterback running back exchange. It looked almost as if Cody had second thoughts and wanted to pull that one at the end as he saw Baldonado crashing down. Thought he'd pull it, slide right, and dump a pass out in the flat.
Jardo, deep drop, looks down the middle of the field. Austin Mack spinning backwards and incomplete. Big hit, separated the football. Placement wasn't bad, the defense just better.
And there you see, using all of the depth of that end zone. 3 defenders converging as the ball arrives. Mac just gets his hands on it, but is hit really before he has an opportunity to secure the incoming rock.
Alonzo Adai, again, the free safety, coming over and making that play. Plenty of family ties to the Canadian Football League for Adai as Vincent Blanchard makes this a 13-7 ball game with 33 seconds remaining. But the family legacy certainly carrying on here in the Canadian Football League. Alonzo Adai with his grandfather, Willie Bethea, three-time Grey Cup champion with the Tiger Cats, 63, 65, and 67. And I love the story he told us this week, Dwayne, about Grandpa being named X. Why was Grandpa named X?
Yes. In essence, every time someone came in to try and take his job as the starting running back, as each of those players failed, Willie would tape an X up in their locker.
Gotta love the guys in the 60s in the Tiger Cats locker room going, damn, Willie got another one. Coming to the locker room when the big tape X is on the locker is Chalon Garnes. Makes the play on Aiden Eberhardt. Goes for a gain of 6 on first down, and Ottawa will go quickly trying to gain something back, at least a field goal before the half to make up for that Brendan O'Leary Orange explosive play they gave up that resulted in 3 points for the Elks. Mayer, deep drop again. Robbie Smith almost got home and almost hit Aiden Eberhardt just past the outstretched fingertips of number 7.
And Aiden Eberhardt has had flashes as kind of a go-to guy in this Ottawa passing offense. We saw it on the last series. A couple of big catches and then targeted on the pass that was ultimately intercepted by Terrell Ford. But, you know, that was what we saw in the Ottawa-Toronto game, Ottawa's second game of the season. 8 catches, 129 yards. As that was the first indication that there was perhaps some chemistry developing between Mayer and Eberhardt.
I think that one was partially blocked. The long legs again of Noah Getman. And the Redblacks might have to change the way that they're setting up in terms of depth.
Yeah.
Because Edmonton has been close 2 or 3 times. Silas Hubert almost had one earlier.
Illegal punt, Ottawa. 10-yard penalty, first down.
They'll call it a punt out of bounds as Noah Taylor came down the chute. And there's no doubting that Getman has a huge leg, but it seemed like the pressure messed up his release and delivery that time.
Yeah, you wonder if he short-legged it, so to speak, knowing that there was someone coming up the middle that he had to shorten up his kicking motion in order to ensure that it wasn't blocked, but the trajectory obviously still impacted by that rush.
Jeff Reinbold, special teams coordinator, that'll be a point of emphasis, you're sure, at halftime, is a net gain of 8 after the penalty, and Fajardo's going to use the legs, takes off, scrambles to the outside, and reaching for the first down marker, and Cody Fajardo will get there.
Yeah, you think about when Cody Fajardo first came into the Canadian Football League, and obviously his running ability was a big part of what he brought to the table. He doesn't do it as often anymore, but definitely showing that that is still something within his arsenal.
Last year, Fajardo rushed for 319 yards and 7 touchdowns, led all quarterbacks with a 7.6% scramble rate on dropbacks as well. And at the end of the half, Edmonton trying to steal a quick 6 via a pair of field goals as Blanchard sees this one sail through the uprights. So late half execution.
That scoring drive. Just need to get a little bit of consistency going here in the second half.
I'll begin with a handoff to the right-hand side, and it is Greg Bell going for a couple. As you see plenty of pressure from the Elks, and it hit early and often on Jake Mayer in that first half. Trying to keep him clean and allow him to fulfill his potential as the starter for the Red Blacks here in week 6.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges in the opening 30 minutes for Jake Mayer that we saw exactly was that pressure. And it's not an issue with Jake Mayer in terms of processing and decision making under the pressure. He can't make the throws he wants to make with people in his face.
4-man rush. Mayer has time, gets it complete underneath. Kate McDonald and almost broke first down Ottawa. Looks like they ran the old get to the sticks and turn around here, Dwayne.
And it seems to have served them fairly well. Mayer given a relatively clean pocket on that one. Finding McDonald again in his second career Canadian Football League game.
Keelan White on the one-game injured list as well. Standout young Canadian talent. Nick Martin still on the 6-game injured list. So a little bit of opportunity for Cade McDonald as Joel DeBlanco trying to rip the first year out of Miami of Ohio. Working alongside Aiden Eberhardt and Benjamin Victor of Ohio State. Haven't said his name on that wide side yet here this evening. As Mayer completes this one, Justin Hardy settling down in between coverage, and seems like a very sound attack and adjustment made at halftime for the Red Blacks offense.
And the biggest thing is giving Jake Mayer a little bit of time to do his thing. Justin Hardy, veteran receiver.
Get rid of it quickly, couldn't, goes underneath as Eberhardt settles down.
You're at 42.
Got it at the 6. And Jabome, who got his first game started last week with 7 tackles and an interception right there in the middle of it.
Eberhardt lines up as the 2 receiver out to the right side. Just working as an outlet underneath, as you saw in that instance. Pressure again, kind of taking away a passing lane to the primary option. It looked like it was Justin Hardy. It was the first read for Jake Mayer on that one, but he redirected, stepped around the pressure, and found Eberhardt underneath.
Empty it out, pressure coming, and trying to go on a little in-breaking route right at the sticks. Edmonton says they have the football, and it was Greg Bell that they emptied out. The officials will say first down Red Blacks. As Noah Curtis out on the field. Good to see him, big 92 there right in the middle of your picture after he was injured at the end of the first half.
A little wrestling match over the ball, but doesn't seem to be too much of a debate going on down there in the end about possession. Nice job by Mayer with Jared Brinkman closing on him to just kind of drift back to his right a little bit and buy enough time to make that throw, knowing he's got that quick read, quick outlet.
7th play of the drive here for the Ottawa Red Blacks offense. Pressure right down the middle. DeBlanco blitzes. Mayer throws away from it, and Cordell Jackson is on the spot. Interception intended for Justin Hardy.
Take a look at the matchup, and you saw Jackson broke to the sideline before Hardy did. Terrific look at it. You know, defenders so typically playing with inside leverage, protecting the inside of the field, shorter path to the football, etc. But you watch this one. Jackson makes his outbreak before Hardy does, and as a result, he's in position in front of the receiver to go get that ball.
Second interception of the ball game for Jake Mayer on the opening possession of this second half. The pitch play once again. Change to the outside. Justin Rankin goes for a gain of 5 as we see Cody Fajardo's first half numbers with a banged up offensive line in front of him right now that we're keeping an eye on as well.
And Fajardo relying largely on the quick game in the first half. Working to the perimeter a little bit, as you see Mark Cordy now coming on at center.
Carter O'Donnell, who was banged up, still playing at that left guard spot. As Fajardo, deep shot, Austin Mack settles it down. What a nice job of gearing from Austin Mack. Don't always have to play your fastest, do you, Dwayne? Just find the right speed to make the play, and Austin Mack knows that.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what so many veterans veteran receivers tell you, particularly guys coming up from the States, is that it's not all about full speed, but it's kind of knowing when to be full speed, when to settle. Nice adjustment there by Mack to bring in the big gain.
Smooth hands along the sideline. Makes the play. Fajardo, quick run fake. Now they want to get Austin Mack the football once again. He dives forward to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 5.5, 6 yards. As we get another look on the trajectory as well from Cody Fajardo, just putting it up way up high in the Commonwealth sky, giving them a chance.
And this is shades of Montreal 2023. Fajardo to Mack down the rail.
78 catches for Austin Mack in that season. 110th Grey Cup. He went over 100 yards and had a touchdown, of course, as well. They'll empty it out for Fajardo, 3-by-3. And Cody steps up in the pocket and walks himself right into what would have been a sack if your name wasn't Cody Fajardo.
Fighting and spinning his way into this 3rd and short situation. Nice effort by Fajardo to give his team a chance to keep this drive alive. You see him look to the sideline right away, see where that first down marker was after the scramble.
And the Edmonton offense will stay on 3rd and 1 from the Red Blacks 37. Cole Snyder, part of a quarterback room that Jordan McSimic says is in every morning at 5 a.m. watching film together, but did he get the yardage required? All about brute force and short yardage. And Ottawa believes they've got the stop. It'll depend on the spot.
The initial push, I thought, looked pretty good.
As they'll pull the sticks tight, and a tough spot leads to the Ottawa REDBLACKS getting the football back after Jake Mayer with his second.
And one of the things we've talked about with the league in general this season, obviously a level of parity, high competition expected. Margin for error is small, and a couple of interceptions obviously are going to significantly hurt your chances.
Trying to get Greg Bell going as well. A little stiff arm for the aforementioned Cordell Jackson. Is 5 carries for 10 yards in terms of the ground game for Greg Bell so far in this one. That goes for 7. It's a catch out of the backfield.
Well, we've talked about the importance from an Ottawa point of view of getting Greg Bell involved.
Inside handoff once again, and Bell will turn the legs. Thought about bouncing it all the way outside, but got the first down yardage required. 11 career touchdowns, over 1,000 yards with the Tiger Cats last year.
And one of the things that goes along with having success in running the football is it's going to help you in your pass protection.
Big hit by Terrell Ford on Justin Hardy there. Ottawa starting to pick up the pace just a little bit, a gain of 9. As the offense ran 58 tempo plays last year, 4th in the CFL. You can expect more of that. And this to try and get things in order as Toronto with Ryan Dinwiddie ran almost twice as many as Ottawa last year. They go quickly, pick up the first down, flag flies.
Good start to the drive. Looked like a flag down on the play, however.
It is one of those things that you kind of philosophically bring with you when you change teams, though, isn't it?
Procedure, no end. Ottawa, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Well, turnovers and penalties, we know, are the things that statistically will drag you backwards. And they've had plenty of those here tonight, specifically offensively.
And you can see there's no receiver on the line of scrimmage. Out to that right side, the wide out up top is off.
And always the danger when you try to go tempo, right? The basic communication if the snap comes up and not lined up properly. So Ottawa goes from 2nd and 1 to 2nd and 6. Mayer gets it away over the middle and almost a third interception. Cordell Jackson that close to having a pair of his own.
Jackson again gaining an advantageous position on his receiver. Good anticipation. Going to see the intended receiver, Hardy, working out of the slot. And see again, like Jackson doing a nice job getting in front of him on that route, sort of beating the receiver to the target.
46-yard punt here from Noah Getman, and Javon Leake slides down. You wonder if it's things go sideways. We'll see coming up on Saturday, but first it's Spain against Belgium tomorrow here on TSN. In the World Cup, flags fly, whistles blow this dead as Justin Rankin was already 7 yards downfield.
Illegal procedure. Edmonton number 53. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Brendan Bordner, the left tackle, who has a team high 10 pressures allowed, gets flagged on that one. And changing pieces on the interior, but it's the outside that bumps them backwards as Mark Porty still in at center. Coulter Woodmansey was injured back in week 1 against these Ottawa REDBLACKS. Onto the 6-game injured list, out for a significant period of time, unfortunately. Big free agency addition from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They empty it out for Fajardo, and he spins backwards right into a sack. And the big man, Cleon Lang. We don't say his name much in the backfield these days, Dwayne, but when he gets there, he delivers a blow.
And you're going to see right here, Lang, quick hand slap to the inside. Meet you the quarterback, Cody Fajardo. His big escape move is sort of that reverse spin out to the left. And he spun right into a couple of Ottawa defensive linemen that time. Didn't even see it coming.
Late substitution here from the REDBLACKS. They get the extra man off the field. They'll just throw it underneath, and Justin Rankin's going to try to make magic, as he has so often this season. Edmonton's allowed just 3 sacks in their first 4 games, but 3 here in this ball game. Fajardo taking a couple more pops than usual. CFL low 1.3% pressure rate.
Obviously, that being a big part of their success in the early going. And again, a correlation between what I mentioned earlier about the ability to run the football, as Justin Rankin leads the league in that department, keeps the sacks down.
Nice rush that time on Jake Julian. As he sends this one skyward, it drops down to Khalil Pimpleton after a 40-yard punt and a flag down. Yeah, experienced guys.
Yeah, they certainly are. And a bunch of former Golden Bears.
Yeah.
David Beard, Mark Cordy, Carter O'Donnell amongst them.
Jake Mayer, good starting field position here for the REDBLACKS, and underneath, Joel DeBlanco is going to try and pull Aiden Eberhardt backwards once again.
Eberhardt lines up as the middle receiver in that trips formation. See, just pushing that defense off, work back to the football, move the sticks. You just got to find some consistency in this Ottawa offense.
Jake Mayer trying to make a man miss. Scrambling for what he can get. Not the most fleet of foot, but workmanlike effort that time to get 3 yards. Takes the hit and heads back for 2nd and 7.
Mayer basically doing what he can, as we've seen him facing pressure throughout this ball game. You know, trying to make plays in terms of getting the ball to the receivers it's supposed to go to versus blitz, etc. But yeah, also recognizing he's got to use his legs a little bit to counter that as well.
With all the field open here, as that's where the football goes, and then it pops out at the end. And Eberhardt, believing that he was down, and they will give forward progress at the 21-yard line. And will Edmonton want to take a look at this one?
Ruling on the field is down by contact. First down.
the catch. Knee is down. I think the knee is down before the ball is out. Still in control of it. Knee touches. I think we have a ruling that will stand.
Agreed.
Yes, with no debate.
Mayer, Eberhard back at the end zone, and did he hang on? Touchdown, Red Blacks.
Oh, there's Aiden Eberhard doing his thing. He and Jake Mayer. Partway through the second quarter of this football game, these two kind of rediscovered their connection. It's been a lot of Eberhard in terms of the Ottawa passing game ever since. Running the deep corner route on this one. Perfectly placed football, nice catch.
And getting after Jalen Garnes, the free safety on that one. Also right now sitting at 0-4 and battling in a relatively low-scoring game here late in the third. We saw the throw earlier from Jake Mayer where he fits it in perfectly on the corner. And you see the score zone shot for 21 yards, which again, 20-yard end zone still. You're talking about a 30, 35-yard throw into the corner, dropped in perfectly. And so when you see the 2-and-out percentage being kind of high and the punt percentage being kind of high, the low touchdown drive, but you're going, he can make the throws.
Yeah, they can do all these things.
Right. And panel talking about McLeod Bethel Thompson at halftime. I think that's the saving grace, it seems like right now. We'll see how long Mayer continues to make those plays and hold off the seemingly inevitable challenge of the veteran quarterback listed number 2 on the depth chart. As Javon Leake returns this kick with a 2-point lead, 1:07 remaining in the third quarter. Great to have you here with us in Week 6 Thursday night football. Bit of a slow burn at times in the second quarter, but the high completion percentage, Cody Fajardo back at it again here tonight.
Yeah, it's been kind of an odd game in that it has kind of felt like Edmonton has really been in control of the game, but the fact is, just a 2-point game.
A hot start deceiving a little bit as Austin Mack rolls his way forward for a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up.
You wonder as we, get into the final minute of this third quarter, and you talk about how close a game it is at this point. Remember that shanked punt at the end of the first half where Edmonton steals a late field goal. Margin for error is small.
Fajardo loads it up and rips it to Austin Mack along the sideline. Confident throw from CF7 that time. He was waiting out something else, but leaned into this one, Dwayne.
Zinging it out there.
Red Blacks touchdown drive was just 4 plays. It went 46 yards. And has made this an interesting game going to the fourth. As Cody Fajardo looks to take the final snap of the stanza, hands it off inside and downhill. Javon Leake all the way to the 45-yard line. A gain of 17 yards.
Right, you got to keep them honest a little bit in different ways.
There, and the Red Blacks losing to Edmonton at home in Week 1. Here we are in Week 6, trying to spoil the party at Commonwealth. And they start with a good defensive play up front. Stacking up Javon Leake and turning him back around again. Niles Morgan, number 1, never far from the middle of the mess.
And again, Leake getting a little bit more time in the Edmonton backfield tonight, trying to use his speed, a little bit of a jump start on that toss play, but well defended by the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Fajardo, pressure coming, gets it away, open receiver. It's TJ Luther running free through the secondary. And Luther inside the 20. They'll put him at the 18 officially.
Nice route there from Luther. Turns his defender inside out.
Cody Fajardo against the BC Lions in a losing effort last week. Third highest total of his career, 395 yards, and the most since 2019 when he went for 429. Problem was he had 3 interceptions. See if he can cash in here. They'll go to the ground game again. Pitch. Javon Leake, stutter step, gets to the outside and wrapped up. Brought down at the 11.
Kind of a neat play design, as you know the defense is going to recognize the speed of Javon Leake, obviously a decorated kick returner in this league. He gets a jump start kind of laterally, which gets the defense flowing. Essentially, you're trying to get the defense to over-pursue on the play, and then when Leake sees an opening, he's just kind of cutting it north-south while everyone's moving laterally.
Ottawa's offense starting to get things in gear. Edmonton trying to set the tone of this fourth quarter. Rankin watches on from the sidelines. They give it to Leake and puts a shoulder down, leans forward to the 5-yard line. First and goal coming up. And does Rankin stay on the sideline, or did they let Leake continue to roll?
Productive series for Javon Leake, doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this particular possession for the Edmonton Elks. Let him see it through as the Elks try to punch this one in.
Cordy makes the calls at center. 37 yards for Javon Leake on the ground. They'll fake it there, throw a slant in behind. Touchdown Edmonton. Keon Julian Grant. Duck, duck, duck. Skylar Griffith, the goose.
Well, in Keon Julian Grant. And like, is that cheating when you play duck, duck, goose with a fullback and a bunch of O-linemen and you're a receiver? As you see him there get inside position on the defender, Adrian Fry. Cody Fajardo, another quick strike to extend the Elks lead. Extra point will make it a 2-possession ball game.
I love Jordan.
Nice execution there of both touchdown play and celebration.
This one rolls into the legs of Khalil Pimpleton as he picks it up and tries to make what he can. 5 passing touchdowns allowed for the Edmonton Elks, second to only Saskatchewan entering week number 6. They gave one up to Jake Mayer and Aiden Eberhardt on their last drive, then answer back with an 8-play, 80-yard drive, finalized by Keon Julian Grant from Cody Fajardo. As the officials make their way to the sideline and
Mark
Killam for a moment.
Mark Killam just drawing attention to it. Actually, injured member of the officiating crew on the sideline, making sure he gets his treatment.
And looks like a backup official stepping in on this snap as Jake Mayer throws this one underneath, and Aiden Eberhardt continues to produce here on the road.
Well, Jake Mayer again, you see defender's arms up in his face, but he manages to deliver that one on target.
As Edmonton pushes, or excuse me, Ottawa pushes for the first down, and Aiden Eberhardt goes over 100 with that last catch. Averaged 19.2 yards per catch last season and had 3 games of 100 plus. So highly productive, making the move. One of those sought-after free agents that Ryan Dinwiddie targeted, making his move to the nation's capital. As Mayer loads this one up, it's Eberhardt once again hanging in the air, and Eberhardt wins the battle against Shalen Garnes.
this is a situation where you just know. Sees the two receiver towards the top of your screen. But I think Jake Mayer decided. Eberhardt's feeling it. That's where I'm going.
Pressure on now is Justin Hardy. What a great tackle in the open field by Kobe Williams. Flying downfield from his field halfback position. 6th year out of Arizona State is here once again as Garns versus Eberhardt.
Yeah, pretty good coverage, but Eberhardt going up above the defender to make another big grab.
And another one of those frustrating sequences for the Red Blacks, looking for their first win.
Procedure, Ottawa number 68. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Get the big play, pass underneath, right, Dwayne? It's chain of events, and that one against the first overall pick from this year, Giordano Vaccaro.
Yeah, Vaccaro starting at the right guard position. You saw that early flinch. As a pass blocker, I'd flinch too if Malik Carney moved in front of me.
Yep.
Particularly as an interior guy. You know, you've got the quick edge rusher coming to give you some headaches.
There, in a tough spot here to the wide side. Justin Hardy gets a big chunk of it back. But it's a gain of 8 on second. 10 plus.
So costly penalty, but a solid response drive nonetheless. Obviously, Brett Law, they're looking to ensure that they finish this on a positive note and get back within a single score, single possession in this ballgame.
First field goal attempt on the evening for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, the team that leads the CFL in field goal attempts and field goal makes. Now 14.
And cut again a few days later, and he wants to help anybody that's looking to make a name for themselves in pro football, whether they're in the high school, college ranks, and he says he's got 8 more episodes ready to go, and he'll unveil those shortly.
Love it. Great stuff from Niles Mooring, the Next Level Mets podcast. Available on YouTube. Good stuff by Niles, and plenty of work here in Edmonton. Familiar territory for him. Just makes my body hurt just reading 377 tackles. And short yardage, they kept Fajardo in. Didn't get it originally, but second effort he will. But I mean, it's kind of crazy to think back now about the fact that they had him and Nick Anderson playing side by side, and you started thinking about like the amount of production, the amount of snaps they played together. But at a certain point, you get so good at one position, you don't need necessarily.
Yeah, building up some depth, right? I mean, they had drafted at that position, high picks in a couple of drafts. Saw the opportunity, particularly with the development of Joel DeBlanco, to make one of those 2 linebacker spots a Canadian spot, playing with 2 Canadians there tonight. Daryl Jabome.
And the young Canadians have filled the void nicely, but it's Morgan in the REDBLACKS defense trying to chase after TJ Luther all the way inside the 40. It goes for a gain of 20.
Yeah, TJ Luther, number 88. Nice addition to this Edmonton receiving corps. On Julian Grant's got his touchdown. Chipping in with a block to help out a bite.
Ask Keon this week what he thinks his role in this offense is. He said blow the top off and get dirty, get physical in the running game when needed. Showed it off right there as Justin Rankin dragging tacklers in behind him. Bryce Carter hanging on during a gain of 6 for Rankin. But for Keon in Montreal, it used to be screen game and nothing over the 5 yards down the field, all the rest. But he's evolved nicely here in Edmonton.
Certainly has had a career high in terms of receiving yards last season. He felt a big part of that was meeting his goal of wanting to stay healthy, to play the entire year. Just had a couple of freak injuries during his time in Montreal.
Fajardo slips this one out. Rankin trying to get there on second and a couple. He'll get it all! Touchdown, Justin Rankin, his second of the ball game.
The way Justin Rankin just shifted gears on this one. You see him start off in the backfield. That's when he turns on those jets, gets the ball, freezes the defender Luigi Villain, and then just darts to the outside and away he goes.
Cody Fajardo, 19th career game of 300 yards or more. His fourth against the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Lost his first start ever to them back in 2019. You all remember the Cody Fajardo, Dominique Davis. Very appreciating here on Salute to Service Night in Edmonton that Keon Julian Grant was in on that celebration as well.
Yes.
I'm starting to get the sense that Keon, he might be the guy who's planning stuff in practice.
Well, happy to fill any role, though. He was the leader in Duck Duck Goose, whereas there, he was more of a participant.
More of a goose than a maverick?
Well, yeah. You know, yeah. Just a dangerous place to be, as we now know. Spoiler alert, Goose died.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then his son comes back, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this man died. Jake Mayer trying to have ice in his veins here in the fourth quarter and fight back into this one like he did a few weeks ago on the road as well in Montreal. Never a bad place to start with Justin Hardy.
Yeah, well, Jake Mayer, he's in an interesting spot because, you know, I mean, one of the things we've talked about is the quarterback play, quarterback resumes around the league. And, you know, Jake Mayer may not have the resume of some of the other quarterbacks, but he may have exactly the right makeup for this situation.
Justin Hardy over 100 as Robbie Smith has that one go off his helmet, and Mayer gets peeled up off the turf by Jared Brinkman. But why do you say that he has the right makeup for a moment like this?
Well, and not just a moment like this, but I look at this team as a whole as Jake Mayer's a pretty even keel guy. And, you know, a guy who has had some success in his career, has had some tough times in his career. And I just think that he is a guy who has handled all of that well, has handled that while staying on an even keel. And I think is a guy that in a leadership position isn't going to let people go dark, basically.
REDBLACKS in this half, 6 of 8 on second down conversions. Mayer rips it high and away, and looking for the former Elk, Benjamin Victor, incomplete.
Yeah, Victor.
Hey, D-Hot!
Spent 2025 season with Edmonton, recently picked up by Ottawa as they've had injuries in the receiving corps. Ottawa keeping their offense on the field as 4.5 to go, down 2 scores. They got to go.
Ottawa.
And almost instinctively after the incompletion, unfortunately, because the REDBLACKS have been 2-0 on 40% of their possessions coming into week 6. It seemed like the offense went, man, that's a tough one. Let's get, and then very quickly it was Brian Dinwiddie going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stay out, right? It's like,
yeah, understand the situation.
They've been up against it in second and long situations. Mayer trying to bail them out. A couple of throws I'm sure he wants back. Maybe the Tyrell Ford interception down the right sideline earlier on. But Elk secondary standing tall on these plays all night long. See if they can get another one on 3rd and 10. Justin Hardy and Aiden Eberhard combined for 20 catches in this ball game as Mayer realizes the play clock is low. Now he has to go quickly. Wanted to check at the line, and with pressure coming on his back foot, he throws it up in the middle of the field, and it's intercepted. Jalen Garnes, he was looking for Eberhard predictably, but a mess from start to finish, and it results in the 3rd interception.
instance where essentially you're going to see pressure coming and Jake Maier kind of forced to throw this one while not being able to step forward, sort of backing up, feet standing still. Can't get enough velocity on that football, which allows Garnes to step in front of the intended receiver and come up with the INT, much to the frustration of head coach Ryan Dinwiddie.
And the Teletubbies approve.
Yeah, the delight of Lala. Who's the other guy? Dipsy, our producer, Pete Buchanan, immediately.
I was going to say, don't take credit for knowing that.
Dipsy. Well, Dipsy is well cast, by the way.
And Jake Maier wishing he could have that one back, wincing a little bit as well. Taking some big shots tonight. Now the Elks going back to a situation against the Ottawa REDBLACKS that they weren't happy with how they fared in week 1, which was closing out the game with a lead. Very different conditions 5 weeks ago, but this will help. Austin Mack running free through the secondary and down at the 31-yard line, but on 2nd and 9, it's the 6th catch for Austin Mack.
Elks looking to close this one out after the big 3rd down turnover. REDBLACKS caught maybe a little flat-footed as Fajardo finds Mack on that quick slant.
Mark Killam managing this game down the stretch as an injured REDBLACK is down and getting attention from the training staff. Ryan Dinwiddie voicing his displeasure at the end of last week's loss against the Saskatchewan Roughriders as Jeremy Lucien up onto his feet. And CJ Rivas, the guilty party, running into his teammate there in Lucien, who's in because Bennett Williams, a massive loss for the REDBLACKS defense, out with an Achilles, 27 years old, and started the first 4 regular season games at boundary halfback, 12 tackles, 5 special teams tackles as well, but Bennett Williams was everywhere, and Lucien dressed for the filmmaking room for McLeod Bethel Thompson, who watches on as Cody Fajardo pitches this one to Justin Rankin, and he couldn't, could he? Oh, you know he will! Touchdown Rankin, unstoppable!
Perhaps inspired by Connor McDavid, Justin Rankin's got himself a hat trick. The Teletubbies love it. And again, classic Justin Rankin. Starts off right, bends it all the way back left. Scoring machine. Keon had nothing up his sleeve for that one. He only prepared 2 celebrations for tonight.
Plays like that where you start to think Justin Rankin in the open field able to set up defenders.
Yeah.
You're as likely to touch him as you are the fighter jets that went past earlier.
Yeah.
A flyby on Adrian Fry at the end of this one.
Yeah, Justin Rankin, the total package. Powerful, fast, great change of direction. He is getting it done tonight. Over 100 yards rushing again. Another 43 receiving.
And how about the 4-1 soon to be Edmonton Elks? big play after big play. In large part thanks to Justin Rankin and the balance of their offense as well. Which, by the way, back-to-back Thursday nights I've been in Alberta. 95 points by the home teams between Calgary last Thursday and Edmonton tonight. What's going on out here in Alberta?
Offenses continue to light it up in the early portion of this 2026 season. Jake Mayer, more than anything, looking for a strong finish here for this Red Blacks team.
Mayer 7 yards away from 300 on the evening. Would be his 15th career journey across the mark as he does send it down the field, and Cordell Jackson, salt meat wound.
This game at this point, from an Ottawa point of view, is a second and long situation. I talk all the time about how second and long is to the defense's advantage. Everybody knows what's coming. And with this game, an obvious passing situation, they got to try and force the ball deep. There's a low percentage play in Edmonton. Comes up with pick number 4.
The Elks secondary I mentioned coming into this game, Dwayne, as they hand it off. Javon Leake gets the touch here. Just those 5 passing touchdowns allowed. One of the best defensive secondaries in the CFL.
Yeah, and again, speaks to the continuity. 5-man unit. The group has largely had the opportunity to play together for most of the last couple of seasons, and you see the growth, you see the development as a unit. You mentioned earlier, Marsh, the communication that Joel DeBlanco talked about for him as the weak side linebacker, with Cordell Jackson and J.J. Ross as the weak side members of the secondary, short side of the field, boundary side.
Javon Leake off to the races. No one's going to catch him. One of the best returners in the CFL has another house call as flags fly way behind the play, but for now 67 yards.
Well, we'll wait to see what the flag is, but in the meantime, you know, this is a rather dynamic backfield duo. Justin Rankin running to join the celebration. However, I suspect that this one's coming back.
Well, there was an injured Red Black behind the play. A flag was out as well. And then an altercation at midfield where more flags came out as Cody Fajardo walks backwards. And Baldonado was the aggrieved party on that one. But Tom Valesi will attempt to clean all of this up.
So we have an unnecessary roughness penalty, 68 Edmonton. Then we have rough play ejection, Ottawa number 95. Both those penalties will be balanced from the 45-yard line. That was the time where the ball was when the first foul occurred. We're going to go up 10. It'll be Edmonton's ball, first down.
So they'll wipe the explosive major off the board. Baldonado is gone for his decision.
So on the very right side of the screen, you see number 68, Jordan Murray. So he takes a shot at an already downed Ottawa defender. So that was a penalty against Edmonton on the play. Obviously before the touchdown occurs.
as you would imagine, got up and decided to retaliate, and that's where the penalties are squared off. So wipe the 67-yard touchdown off. And Cody Fajardo, inside 2 minutes, hands it off to Leak once again. And Ryan Dinwiddie will spend a timeout.
Ottawa, timeout.
So Justin Rankin, just another evening at the office.
No kidding.
For the Elks running back. Got it started early. Beautiful touchdown on Edmonton's opening possession. And here in the second half, already with a touchdown run, chips in a touchdown catch. And maybe I'll give you another run, cut it back all the way across the field. Third time's a charm.
35 fantasy points for number 5. Here this evening is second and short. They plunge forward, see where the spot is, but last year just the 4th 1,000-yard season for an Edmonton player as flags get tossed once again. But Rankin, the 4th 1,000-yard season for an Edmonton player since 2011. CJ Gable had a couple of them, and then Kevin Brown as well. And the 32nd 1,000-yard season for an Edmonton time for Rankin last year. I've already seen him in person.
We have a 15-yard misconduct penalty on Ottawa 37. 15 yards, first down.
Penalty against Marcus Barnes. But I've seen Justin Rankin 3-4 times, lost track early on this season. It never gets old. It's like, guy's electric.
Yes, he does not fail to entertain. You see Barnes hauling bodies out of the pile.
And Austin Mack, not just a veteran on his own team, but kind of the old head, walks over to Barnes and goes, come on. Right? Trying to get out of here as clean as possible. Edmonton with the big victory at home. And Ottawa, obviously a frustrating journey set to go home as Fajardo grinds this one away. Maybe trying to get Javon Leak that touchdown back that got wiped off the board through the offsetting penalties back at the 45.
Well, no doubt frustration for these Ottawa REDBLACKS.
And Leak inside the 5 on second down. Slow off the sideline for the special teams unit. Blanchard asking what they'd like to do. Mark Killam all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And looks like he'll wait as late as he can. For taking advantage of a timeout.
Yeah, milk that clock.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Saskatchewan in action, as we said, against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with Jake Dolagala getting the start there, but Edmonton for now 4-1. Discussion about a month and a half ago was, okay, Edmonton looks better. Free agency went well. They got a nice plan. Does it actually mean anything? 4-1. And for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, plenty of turnover, and there's a lot of football left to be played, but they are in grave danger of it getting late real early. And Fajardo's back to the phone.
Eternal optimist that I am.
Yep.
Which I'm not really. Did you see the old school phone?
What do you think they have to say say with 58 seconds left, up 40-17.
They just wanted to say goodnight.
What do you prefer, Moose Tracks or strawberry cheesecake? We're going for ice cream. What do you want?
Well, knowing Cody, he's setting up the 5 a.m. quarterbacks meeting for tomorrow.
Right.
All right, good game. See you at dawn.
It's a great thing about a landline, too. You can slam it down, right?
Yeah.
You can't slam a cell phone down.
Yeah, not without needing a new cell phone.
Ball on the tee. Ottawa about to get it back. And the question, I think, for the Red Blacks inevitably now becomes 4 interceptions for Jake Maier. 7 yards away from that 300-yard mark, but is week 6 the turning point, which they decide before playing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that it could be McLeod Bethel-Thompson perhaps getting the look, as Friday Night Football is up next. McLeod Bethel-Thompson against Drew Brown in Ottawa.
Who would have called that at the start of the season?
Oh, CFL. MBT. Here he is. Completes his first pass with the Red Blacks. Brought in after Drew Brown was traded away after asking for his release. The Red Blacks wanted to get some value for it. Did what they could, and Jake Maier will finish the night just shy of that 300-yard mark. And those 4 interceptions looming large as the turnover trend that dominates winning percentage continues. As McLeod takes a big hit, and the pass rush hasn't slowed down one bit for the Edmonton Elks. Jared Brinkman.
Well, Jared happy to get one. He's got the family in attendance. Met Jared's dad before the game, having made the trek from Iowa. Just a bull rush, beats his man inside.
And flag comes out. Respect on Joel DeBlanco there, but it's clear to tell that moments like that, as silly and fun as they might be, we weren't seeing anything like that from Edmonton, especially this time of the year.
Yeah.
For the last several years.
Yeah.
Like the lack of smiles on the sidelines, the lack of celebration.
Roughness. Edmonton number 50. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Mark Killam has clearly done a job already.
Yes, successful shift in culture happening here in Edmonton. Ottawa, obviously, not so much the culture, but certainly on the field, still a work in progress.
Bethel-Thompson gets hit as he throws. Sails this one up into the Commonwealth seats. Oh, welcome to Ottawa, getting popped snap after snap. Just McLeod Bethel-Thompson on his lone drive here late in the game. Another one taken right to the ribs.
Yeah, you've got bull rushes happening across the board. And it's tough to defend it. As an Ottawa offensive line, you know what's coming, but you've got a defense that they're not defending anything other than a deep pass.
Underneath they go. Gino Lewis barely said his name here this evening. And that will do it. The impressive Elks come home after a tough road loss to the BC Lions and find a way to get the win